him up.
Now, look, mister. You're not making it any easier for yourself by refusing to tell us who you are.
Got nothing to say.
We don't like John Doe cases in St. Louis. Where are you from?
I'd rather not talk until I've seen him.
You were apprehended with a gun in the same room with a murdered man.
I won't talk without a lawyer's advice.
All right. Take him out and book him on suspicion of murder. All right. Have they brought Mrs. Roberts in yet? Let me know when they do.
Wait a minute. I've changed my mind.
Good. Why?
My fingerprints would give me away.
Have you a record?
The Army has my prints on file.
Oh, I see.
My name is Harry Lane. I work at the Crown Jewelry Company under another name.
Why?
I'll come to that later. First, I want to confess to the murder.
With that revolver?
Yeah.
You want to tell us why you did it?
It's a long story.
Oh, we've got plenty of time. If you feel like getting it off your chest, sit down.
Thanks. What happened tonight, that's the end of the story. It all started in Los Angeles, my hometown. I was a pretty up-and-coming youngster, I thought. I knocked around doing odd jobs for a character named Marty Floyd. Doing all right, too, when the Army got me. I spent a couple of years overseas, and after the war ended and I got out of service, I just sort of drifted back to Marty Floyd. Dun & Bradstreet never heard of him, and he's not a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know what terms he's on with the Internal Revenue boys. You see, he's sole proprietor of a going concern that takes bets on everything from the ponies to next week's weather on the Gobi Desert. He knows the percentages, Marty Floyd does. And when you know the percentages, the upkeep on a penthouse overlooking Beverly Hills is chicken feed.
Harry.
Hi, Marty. Nice to see you.
When did you get out, kid?
Tuesday.
Great. I've got some new boys. I'd like to have you meet them. Harry Lane, shake hands with Al Conway.
Hi. How long a stretch did he do?
Harry's been in the Army.
Smart boy, stayed out of the Army.
Some guys couldn't get in.
Harry, this is Earl Taylor.
Glad to know you, Lane.
Hi.
He runs my Spring Street office for me now. Say, you better be getting down there. The results will be coming in from the east.
Right. Be seeing you.
Be seeing you. Well, it's great to be back, Marty.
How would you like to pick up where you left off?
GI Bill of Rights says I'm entitled to my old job.
So do I. Under one condition.
I'm cured of that.
No more using payoff money for your own side bets.
I said I was cured.
Nobody's ever cured until after they've been burned. You haven't been burned yet.
I came close enough to get singed.
You've had a streak of last-minute luck every time. But that kind of luck can't last.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Okay, you're cured. Al, give him the 20,000.
Where's he going?
Las Vegas, the Flamingo.
Flamingo? What is that, a new joint?
New and classy, and no joint.
You'll go there and meet Mrs. Dalhart. She's due in from Florida this afternoon.
She still got that long string of nags?
Sure. Her filly, the Patsy, won and paid 10-1 for her.
And I make the payoff.
To her, in person. Al, give him money for plane fare and expenses. You can stay at the Flamingo tonight. And tell Ollie to put him on the payroll, $150 a week, starting last Tuesday.
Want me to take care of his laundry, too?
How are you fixed for scratch?
No, thanks. I've got a little over 1,000 left.
Good. Now, look. At the Flamingo, you can do anything you want. But if you do any gambling, use your money.
Don't worry.
Oh, I never worry. I leave that to the people who owe me money.
Be seeing you. Reservation for Harry Lane.
Oh, yes, Mr. Lane, and welcome to the Flamingo. Would you sign here, please?
Has Mrs. Dalhart arrived yet?
No, her plane's not due to land for nearly 2 hours.
Where's the casino?
Right across the patio.
I'll be in there. Have me paged as soon as she arrives, will you?
Yes, Mr.
I had 1,000 in my kick and it was howling for action. Penny bets made me nervous. Win or lose, but do it quick. I was going to shoot the roll and get it over with.
Take the hard way. 9, shooter. Number 9. Hannah. After 8, 9, shooter.
How are they running?
Cotton cold. Have you put him on 5, shooting for 9. Take 9.
Give me 10 dips.
Hannah. 7 away, last coming the outside. Number was 9. New shooter coming out. Your shot, sir, if you care to shoot him.
What's the limit?
200 flat, 200 odds. $200 he wins.
200 goes. 4 number, 4 wins. Now you get a come bet for to make 4. 4.4 wins.
2 on the odds, 2 coming.
Shooting for to make 4 shooter. 10 easy, put him on 10. Shooting for 4.
2 on the odds, 2 coming.
Your number is 4. Make 4 shooter, your number is 4. 6 the hard way, shooting for 4. Make 4 shooter, your number is 4. Make him out for to make 4. 7 away, the last coming at own side, number was 4. New shooter coming out, it's your shot, sir, if you care to shoot him.
Paging Mr. Lane.
36.
Mr. Lane. Paging Mr. Lane.
Hi, Mr. Lane. Has Mrs. Dalhart landed?
No, sir. We got a wire from her. She's staying another week in Miami.
Another week.
Till the 28th.
Where's the long-distance phone?
In the lobby.
Thanks. Hello, Marty. Harry Lane. Mrs. Dalhart staying in Miami another week.
Well, that's a break for you. It'll give you 7 days rest.
Why can't I leave the money in the safe for her to pick up?
What's the matter, Harry? Afraid to hold 20,000?
Why should I stay here a week spending your money?
It'll help you to get the Army out of your system. And listen, Harry, remember, if you have to gamble, use your money. And don't touch mine to pull yourself out of any holes.
I'll be needing a safe deposit box.
Oh, yes, Mr. Lane. Sign here, please. Your key, sir.
Thanks. That casino drew me like a magnet. Next morning, without even knowing it, I found myself walking to the door. I knew I had to get away from there and Marty's money in that box. There had to be something I could do to get my mind off it. What do the other tourists do besides gamble? I decided to make like a fish. Nice, clean sport. No gambling here. That's what I thought.
Gin. Just on the blitz this time.
I couldn't get away from it. So I tried the horses. Not the kind you bet on. But I guess he knew I was in the infantry, and we never did get along with the cavalry. After fighting it out for a while, I gave up. He won in a walk. Six long days to go. I was really sweating them out. Being alone made it tougher. I needed somebody to talk with to change the conversation I was having with myself. This one got away.
Oh, thanks. My auditor'd never forgive me if this got lost.
Income tax?
Even more complicated. He's worked out a system to beat roulette.
You can always break even out here by the pool.
Funny thing, he gave me a system and I had to go to Reno on business.
You lost, of course.
No, I won. The man's terrific at figures. He's made a study of the game.
I don't know much about roulette.
Well, neither do I, frankly, but I'm going to take another lesson.
Mind if I watch?
Of course not. Glad to have company.
My name's Harry Lane.
Rick Ellsworth.
Glad to know you.
25-cent chips, please.
I'd forgotten they came that low.
If they came any lower, I'd play them. Not the money with me, it's a game.
$20 worth, right?
Right?
Number 12, 12 red.
Here it is, after 12, star 5.
Number 34.
Well, that wasn't even close.
Maybe I'm bad luck for you.
Oh, don't be silly. We'll try the next number. Star 8.
Number 11.
Well, that's better. We got a split out of that one.
Number 17.
Say, that's me again. 3 splits and 2 straight up out of 11 bets. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Mind if I play along?
Well, you never can tell. It might have been just a streak of luck.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Give me 2-bit chips, will you?
Let's see. After a series of 9, 11, 17, bet number 11.
$20. Number 11.
Hey, that's us. What have I been missing all my life?
Well, I've had enough.
You're not going to quit while you're winning, are you?
It's the best time to quit, isn't it?
You got
Do you know
something.
we've been here 3 hours?
3 hours. No wonder my legs are killing me.
Change these, please.
Mine, too. How about a drink?
Thanks. It'll have to be a quickie.
Okay.
Well, that was a nice little streak of luck.
With you, it isn't a question of luck.
Oh, I imagine even the system can lose if you play it long enough.
Maybe, but I'm willing to stick with it till we find out.
All right, then. I'm your man.
What do you have, gentlemen?
Flamingo special.
Make it 2. I don't mean to get personal, but what kind of work are you in?
I'm a mining engineer. I buy and develop claims.
Sort of a gamble, isn't it?
All business is a gamble in a way.
You got something there. Ever hear of Marty Floyd?
Marty? Most everyone has.
I work for him.
That must be an interesting life.
Get to meet all kinds of people. Thanks.
Are you up here on business?
Yeah, someone nicked Marty for 20 grand. I'm up here to pay off.
How long are you going to be here?
About 4 or 5 days till the party gets here.
Well, that should give you a nice vacation. I've got to go out to the house. I'm expecting a long-distance call at 6:30.
Aren't you staying here at the Flamingo?
No, I have a friend with the magnesium plant. He's east on business. He insisted I'd take his house while I'm in town.
Will you be back tonight?
You want to play some more?
Sure, we're a team.
All right, then. I'll meet you at the same table.
Fine, don't lose that system.
Don't worry.
We did even better that night. Quitting time found us each over 1,000 ahead. I used to laugh at systems, but this one really worked. We couldn't wait to get started the next day, all set for the big kill. We were going to break the bank. I was already figuring on buying me an armored car to take it away in.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
How are you? Starting in a little early.
Pleasure to have you. Maybe you'd like some coffee or orange juice.
I could use a cup of coffee.
Make it 2.
2 coffees. Let's have a trial spin.
1,000.
How do you have it?
5s.
I'll have the same.
$36.
The star 16.
Number 28.
Well, can't win every time. We bet 10.
Number 4.
At 13.
Number 2.
Star 36.
Number 16.
Bet 19.
Number 4.
Star 20.
29.
I'll be right back.
Another 105s. My safe deposit box, please.
Yes, sir.
Number 16.
1,005.
Another 1,000? Why don't you quit? I'm through.
System's got to start working. What's the next number?
6, but I wouldn't go on if I were you.
Straight up on the 6.
Number 25.
What's the next number?
14. Listen, Harry, the system's knocked into a cocked hat. It must have been luck that made us win before.
It wasn't luck.
Number 6.
Bet 4.
Number 21.
Straight up on number 19.
17.
Give me another 1,000.
22.
5.
17.
27.
15.
31.
Number 14.
00.
Another 1,000.
Number 7.
33.
Bet 11.
4.
22.
29.
2.
15.
14.
23.
36.
35.
Number 12.
Number 23.
I'll be right back.
Wait a minute, Harry. Haven't you had enough for one day?
I'll start winning again.
I can't let you take the chance.
It's my money.
If you're going on, it won't be a party to it. You've lost 5,000 already.
I don't need your advice.
All right, Harry. Have it your way. But you're not going to lose any more with this system.
What do you think you're doing?
Trying to stop you from making a fool of yourself.
Sorry I lost my temper.
Oh, that's all right. Forget it. I didn't know the bug had bitten you so badly.
Yeah, it gets me every once in a while. This was the worst.
Maybe you're cured now.
Say, you can't be cured till you've been burned.
If ever anyone got burned, you're the party. Why don't you come on out the house with me? The drive will cool us off. Get you away from the casino for a while.
Good deal.
There's the magnesium plant the government built during the war.
It's kind of spread out, isn't it?
I guess it means more to me as a mining engineer than it would the average person.
Yeah, I guess so.
You have no idea how exciting it is to bring in a producing mine.
All I know about mines is some pay off and some don't.
This one did, for the government.
Did all right for Las Vegas, too.
It's the same story with every mine, but you never forget your first one. I was just an assistant engineer up in the Canadian wilderness, miles from anywhere. But when we struck copper, it was as though we'd set off an alarm. I don't know where the people came from, but we had a town before we knew it. Mines like that are few and far between.
Quite a layout you've got here.
Yes, it's a nice place. I was lucky to get it.
Nice and cool in here.
Been very pleasant. How about a glass of beer?
Thanks.
Make up at home. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, how'd you like to drive over to Hoover Dam?
Any roulette wheels there?
Look, Harry, I hate to pry into things, but
What's on your mind?
if you need money, I could let you have some. That is in a few days.
When?
The 27th.
Thanks, I'm not broke.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Go ahead.
You offered me a loan, but not till the 27th. You short of cash?
Temporarily. I've sunk a lot of money into a mine.
The Copper Blossom?
Yes.
They take up the option on the 27th.
How did you know that?
You told me to make myself at home. I read this. Sore?
Well, no.
Flamingo, you said you felt responsible for me losing. I'd like to get
Me? Why?
Then I could pull myself even. How much would it take?
Well, 5 might get you 10, but
Just right.
no, I couldn't think of it.
Okay. No harm in trying.
No hard feelings.
Of course not.
I'd like to see you get even, Harry, but it's just as I said yesterday. All business is a gamble.
Not in this case.
I wish I could feel that sure about it. Suppose something went wrong with the deal.
I'd be willing to take that chance. This Roy Hanford says they'll close.
Roy, you don't know him from Adam.
You do.
Yes, but suppose something should go wrong with the deal.
Would be my neck, not yours.
Well, if you feel that way about it. All right, then. Looks like I've got a partner.
Come on, let's go back to the hotel. I'll get the money.
Oh, tomorrow's time enough.
I'll have it for you first thing.
To the Copper Blossom.
After turning over the money to Ellsworth, I started counting my chickens. The total was always the $10,000 I needed to square myself with Marty Floyd.
Hello, Harry.
Hi. What are you doing up here?
Oh, just looking around.
Sit down, have something to eat.
The boys tell me that you and the wheel didn't get along so good.
We didn't.
Mrs. Dalhart gets in Friday.
She'll get her money.
That's good. The boys also tell me that you've been playing around with a character named Ellsworth.
Chambermaid tell you what color pajamas I wear, too?
Oh, don't get...
What do you mean by that?
The guy's a con man from way back. Well, see you around, Harry.
So Ellsworth had conned me. Suckered me, but good. I had to get to him quick, before he blew town with my dough. Marty's dough. I made the rounds. No Ellsworth. I went to his house. He had to be home. I could feel Al's hot breath on my neck, and his finger itching to pour hot lead into my back. No, this is just a friend. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see. Let me get this straight. Leaves in the morning at 4:45. Changes at Salt Lake to the DNRG. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Ellsworth.
You gave me quite a fright.
Makes us even.
The door was locked.
Window wasn't.
Oh. I'm sorry I wasn't back earlier. I was looking all over the Flamingo for you.
I can imagine. Just got a confirmation on your train tickets.
Yes, that's why I was looking for you. I got a call from Roy Hanford. The syndicate wants me to come to Denver to close the transaction.
You don't happen to have 5,000 on you, do you?
So what's the matter with you, Harry? Have you gone sour on the deal?
Yeah. I'll settle for my 5 now.
I don't have it with me.
Get it.
The money's on its way to Denver. I sent it registered mail this afternoon.
Who's it going to?
Me. It's my way of providing safe transportation for my money.
You don't expect me to believe that, do you?
Say, what's the matter with you, Harry? Here's the post office receipt.
I didn't have to touch him. I knew. I'd seen too many of them in the war. He was out of business. For good. It was self-defense, sure, but who'd believe me? The word of a gambler and a thief? Stop and think. Where could I go? Not back to the Flamingo and Al. Certainly not to L.A. Denver. If I could get to Denver and salvage that $5,000 and send it back to Marty, it'd take off some of the heat. But to do that, I'd have to go as Ellsworth, to get my hand on that registered letter. Hotel reservation. Now I knew where to go. $500. I needed it for expenses. I had to straighten up the room, make sure there were no clues. And the body. If they found it before I blew town, I was cooked. I had to get rid of it. I thought I'd been through everything. That was the most nerve-wracking ride I ever took in my life. There's plenty of desert around Vegas. That's where I buried it. First hurdle was the room clerk. Maybe he came here before.
Good evening.
Your reservation for Richard Ellsworth?
Yes, Mr. Ellsworth. Your suite is all prepared. Sitting room with connecting bedrooms on either side.
Has a registered letter come for me yet?
No, sir, but a telegram just arrived.
I'm expecting a registered letter. Send it to my room as soon as it gets here, will you?
Yes, sir. Show Mr. Ellsworth the 305.
Will there be anything else, Mr. Ellsworth?
Not a thing. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Detained several days. Alice Jameson, new confidential secretary, will arrive this date and occupy my room. Roy Hanford. Alice Jameson. She must have just gotten in. According to the telegram, she didn't know Ellsworth, so I wasn't worried, just curious.
Righty, Mr. Ellsworth.
Tips on there.
Thank you.
Room clerk, please. This is Mr. Ellsworth in 305. Has a registered letter come for me yet? It hasn't, huh? Thanks.
I'll come back later, Mr. Ellsworth. You are Richard Ellsworth, aren't you?
Yes.
I'm Alice Jameson.
Glad to know you. Hanford wired you'd be in. Had breakfast yet?
Yes, but I'd like another cup of coffee.
Come in. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Hanford thinks quite a lot of you, according to his wire.
Oh, he exaggerates, so I'm afraid I won't be able to live up to his description.
That's for me to judge. Have you known him long?
Oh, not nearly as long as you have. How do you plan to work, Mr. Ellsworth?
Didn't Hanford explain the setup to you?
Why, no. He said that you know it so much better than he does.
I wonder what made him so modest all of a sudden.
Is there someone else connected with us, or will it be just you and Mr. Hanford?
Just us.
Is your wife going to join you?
My wife? We're separated.
Oh. You know, you're not at all like Mr. Hanford said you'd be.
Am I better or worse?
Frankly, better.
It's good to hear. We never know how others see us.
By that same token, others have no idea of what we're really like. That's because we all have masks for every occasion.
I don't get it.
Whether it's conscious or not, we all try to impress people. Instead of being ourselves, we put on masks to fit the situation. I do. And you? Are you really what you seem to be? Is anyone?
You're wearing a mask. It's good enough for me. Keep it on.
Thank you. But believe me, I have no intention of removing it.
Hello? This is Mr. Ellsworth.
Hello, Rick. This is Roy Hanford.
Yeah, it got here just after I did.
The weather's... Rick, planes can't take off for a couple of days. So Alice Jameson will have to stay over and come on to Denver with me.
Yeah. I was wondering if there was anything you wanted done.
No. I just didn't want you to be concerned about Alice. Sounds different. Tell me, how does Denver look? Did you do anything about officers?
I'll let it slide till you get here. Las Vegas was pretty active. I could use a few days' rest.
Okay, Ray. Take it easy then till Alice and I get there.
When do you think that'll be?
Nearly a week. I'm all tied up. I'll be seeing you. That wasn't Ellsworth.
Are you sure?
I know his voice as well as yours. Get reservations on the next train.
Anything I should know?
No, Miss Jameson.
I didn't know you had friends in town.
That was long distance. Now it's my turn to ask the questions.
How do you mean?
Vital statistics. Married?
It's Miss Jameson.
How about you and Hanford? Is it just business between you two?
You mean, do we have any other relationship?
You don't have to answer that.
Business is strictly business with me, Mr. Ellsworth. When it shows any signs of being otherwise, I bow out.
That's what's known as putting the boss in his place.
I'm glad it came up. Now we know where we stand.
I'm not quite as bad as I seem.
Very few of us are even what we seem.
Let's not go into that again.
Here's a registered letter, Mr. Ellsworth. Sign this, please. Thank you, sir.
Ever seen Denver before?
No.
Neither have I. What do you say we take in the sights and have a bite of lunch?
Boy, I'd love to.
I'll be right out. Copper blossom stock. He'd lied right up to the end. That did it all right. Now I was really in for it. From Marty and the law and the girl in the next room. Who is it?
Tickets, please.
When's the next stop?
Normally, Cascade Rocks, but we had to make up time,
So when do we stop?
Well, it's about 3 hours to King City from here.
Thanks.
Won't do any good to jump the train.
You go a long way to keep a lunch date.
Where's Richard Ellsworth?
You're looking at him.
You're not Ellsworth. What have you done with him?
You're not Ellis Jameson. Supposing you start talking.
Supposing you do.
Now that we're playing rough, I'm telling you I don't like people to poke their nose into my business. Why are you following me? What do you want?
When did you say he came out of the coma?
Dropped off into a natural sleep about 7 this morning.
And there was no more hemorrhage of the ears.
No, Doctor.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, if you want him to get well, don't let him worry and keep him quiet. Do you hear?
Yes, Doctor.
Well, hello, young fella. Oh, you better take it easy. You've got yourself pretty well banged up.
How?
A railroad wreck. Don't you remember it?
Wreck?
Oh, it happened right outside the village.
Yes, this is Cascade Rocks, Colorado.
And we ain't big enough to keep a hospital going, and so we just took the injured into our homes. And welcome you are. Hey, I'm Mrs. Bledsoe, and this here's Doc Winters. He's tended folks far worse off than you are, and pulled them through.
Rest and quiet, Mrs. Bledsoe. That's my prescription for our patient. Ever see this man before, son?
I don't remember.
I'm Eugene Hamilton, and I'll never forget you and the beating you took on my account. It'll probably all come back to you when you start to recuperate.
We'd better get on our way or you'll miss that eastbound. When you're feeling better, your wife can tell you the whole story.
After you've heard it, I hope you accept my offer. If any complications set in, wire me at once. You have my address in St. Louis.
Yes, Mr. Hamilton. And thank you for what you've done.
It's nothing to what I hope to do in the future. Goodbye, Mr. Roberts. I'm expecting to meet you in St. Louis.
Thanks.
The doctor said for you not to talk.
Thanks, so for not giving me away.
Really, you have to be quiet.
Why did you stick by me?
I'll tell you some other time.
Doctor said I wasn't to worry.
I saw you save a man's life. Will that do?
Hamilton's?
Yes. He gave us a check for $5,000. He wants us to come to St. Louis as soon as we can. He says he has a job for you. With a wonderful future.
Wonderful future. Yeah, that's a laugh.
Isn't it? By the way, these people know us as Mr. and Mrs. Roberts.
Yeah. I'm glad. Ellsworth's a rotten name.
I know it. Unfortunately, it's my own.
Sister?
His wife.
Come on now. You get out of here and get some rest. I'm taking charge. Doctor's orders.
Oh, but really,
no
I feel...
buts. You tended your man all night and most of the day, and it's high time you let someone else take a turn. And I don't want to hear another word to the contrary. Off with you. Land's sake, you would think a body like me would know a mite about tending the sick. At my age, you find out half the fun in life is doing for others. And if someone don't need you, life ain't worth living.
Did Mrs. Roberts nurse me all night?
She did that. Wouldn't let a soul near you. Now, you keep your mouth shut, young man. Doc Winter says you've to have sleep and rest, and that's what you're going to get.
102.
Is Mr. Ellsworth in his room?
No, sir, he isn't.
I'm his associate, Roy Hanford. Did he leave any word for me?
No, he didn't. You see, there seems to be a bit of mystery connected with Mr. Ellsworth.
What do you mean?
Well, he hasn't been in his room since breakfast yesterday. We were about to report the matter to the police.
Huh? Just to make sure of one thing, can you give a description of the man?
Do you think he isn't Mr. Ellsworth?
Perhaps.
Well, he's tall, about 6 feet. His hair is dark and wavy. Complexion fairish. Wears a mustache. Age about 30.
That's Ellsworth, all right. It's possible that he was called back to Las Vegas.
He received a registered letter from there yesterday morning.
I thought so. It won't be necessary to call the police. Thank you. That description didn't fit Rick any more than it does me.
Do you think something's happened to him?
I'm going to Las Vegas and find out.
What about me?
You stay here and see what develops. I'll get in touch with you later.
Right.
Like I always say, it's a nil wind that don't blow someone good. I spent all my life doing for my family. But since Kit got married, he was the last. It's been a mite lonesome around here. But in the last 2 weeks, you and your husband have made the old home live again. And me with it.
A handsome woman like you ought to have no trouble finding another man.
Oh, after 40 years of marriage together, you pile up enough love and happiness to last out your remaining years. You'll find out. You take an old woman's advice. Have children. Lots of them. Oh, land's sakes, that's Mrs. Baxter already. She's going to drive me down to the village, and here I haven't even finished the dishes yet.
You go ahead, I'll finish them.
How about me helping?
Oh, that would be fine if you don't mind. I'll be back in an hour.
You take your time. Hope I don't break her dishes. This is all new to me.
I used to do this at home every night.
Where was home?
Little place you never heard of. Like Cascade Rocks.
You're from a whistle stop like this?
Well, a lot of people are.
What'd you do with yourself all day?
Oh, there was the house and shopping in the city and...
I'm talking about fun.
Well, there were picnics, dances, church socials.
Why'd you leave?
Told me I had a voice.
Have you?
That's good enough for choirs. I sang all the solos. You know how people are. So after enough flattery and daydreaming, I decided to do something with it.
Bright lights from New York?
Chicago was much closer.
How'd it go?
Thumbs down everywhere. I ran out of money. Finally, I got a job in a nightclub.
Singing?
Cigars, cigarettes.
Why didn't you go back home?
Too many friends to face. That's when I met Rick Ellsworth. He was charming, gay, and generous. We had a rather happy year together, as a matter of fact. And he left to take a business trip. When he was well out of town, the police came. That's when I learned he was a con man.
Did they get him?
They didn't want him. They were after me.
You?
Yes. The tracks he left led right to me. I did a year in prison. And in all that time, I thought of just one thing. When I got out, it took me some time to get a lead on Rick. And I learned he was headed for Denver. When I got there, the hotel clerk mistook me for Alice Jameson. You know the rest.
Yeah.
I told you this because the doctor says you'll be well enough to be on your way in a couple of days.
You don't have to look for Rick Ellsworth any longer.
I know it.
Since when?
The night they brought you here. You were delirious. You told me an awful lot.
Who'll have another helping of chicken? Mr. Roberts?
Couldn't eat another bite.
Oh, a canary, that's what you are. Both of you.
If I ate any more, they charge me an extra fare on the train.
Oh, having you two here has been such a blessing. Well, you know what? I'm going to take in boarders so that I'll have young folks around again. I'm not going to sit back all alone and listen to my arteries harden.
I'll tell all my friends about you.
You better come back yourselves.
I'd love to.
And bring the children.
You know we haven't any.
Oh, you will have. Oh, I've another chicken and some pie for you to take in the train. I never did hold with dining cars. Now sit still. I don't need any help.
I'm gonna miss this place. And you?
Let's not talk about it.
Why not? It's the ninth inning. Game's over.
I'll miss you, too.
Going back home?
No, I can't go back.
Any plans?
Please, Harry.
Some things have to be thought out.
I haven't felt like making any plans.
Look, you're gonna be on a train this afternoon. You gotta get off somewhere. Where'll that be? What'll you do?
I don't know. Really, please.
I signed my half. I want you to have it.
I have no right to that.
Neither have I.
What are you going to do, Harry?
Toss a coin.
Don't you know either?
I'll find me a job somewhere.
You ought to take the one Mr. Hamilton offered you. You have a new name. There's nothing to connect you with Rick any longer.
No soap.
But why? The police aren't after Harry Roberts. What happened to Rick was just self-defense.
People in my spot can't overlook any angles.
Is there another angle?
Yeah, a big one. Hamilton thinks you're my wife.
Well?
I was hoping you'd feel that way, but I couldn't let you take the chance.
My eyes are open. I know what I'm doing.
No, Mildred. Even if I was clear with the law, it's bound to end up in a mess. You've forgotten about Marty Floyd.
No, I haven't.
Suppose you've got that figured out, too?
What does he want out of you? His money or your life? Here's half of what we owe him. It's good business on his part to accept this and to take your promise for the rest.
Yeah, if you'll play ball.
I'm sure he will.
Come here. You lied to me. You said you had no plans for the future.
They were only wishes.
I'd like to handle Lane myself, Chief.
You tried that once before.
why I'd like another crack at him.
Might be a repeat on the Flamingo.
Don't worry.
I won't, because I'm going to handle him personally.
Jim.
46.
Hi, Marty. It's 5,000 in here.
That makes you 5,000 shy.
You got the 10 out of the safe deposit box?
Of course.
There's a lot I couldn't tell you on the phone.
You told me enough.
You want to hear my proposition?
Go ahead.
I've got a chance at a good job with a jeweler in St. Louis.
This good?
Pretty near. There's a catch to it.
Naturally.
He thinks I'm married. I can't take the job unless I go there with Mildred. She wants to go through with it, but I wouldn't until I was square with you.
Go on.
Well, there's not much more to say. We're in love. It's our chance to make good. I learned a little something in the Army, Marty, that everyone else isn't a fool. I wouldn't have been much good for you even if I hadn't messed up in Vegas. Didn't know that when I first came back, but I do now. When you meet the right girl, you start thinking about somebody beside yourself. You wonder what you're going to be like in 10 years. You start asking yourself a lot of questions, and you can't kid with the answers. I couldn't hook up with you again, even if you wanted me to. I've become what you guys call a sucker. Well, that's a story.
What do you say, Al?
No dice.
Where is this girl?
In the lobby.
Bring her up.
Why do you want to mix her up in this?
Go and get her, Jimmy. Stick around, Harry.
Marty, this is Mildred.
Hello.
Do you mind standing up?
Harry.
No, I don't mind standing up. Just how good is this job of his?
As good as he can make it.
You still owe me $5,000. That's a lot of money. And I'm not very patient with people who owe me money.
Can't promise to pay it back
If
all
there's
at
going to be a deal, I'll dictate the terms. Still feel the same way, Al?
I wouldn't trust him in the same room. Why let him get 1,500 miles away?
There you are. The jury says guilty.
You're not going to listen to that.
Shut up.
So you're the great Marty Floyd. Or you're just a lonely old man living in a modern museum. You're not the boss. You're just the front for those hired thugs.
This won't do any good.
You let them make all your decisions, do all your thinking. Well, I feel sorry for you.
Wait a minute, Al. You've got nerve. Maybe too much. But just for the record, let's get this straight. Al's the jury and I'm the judge. And I'm going to give you a break. I don't know what you see in this guy, but that's your problem. However, I'm going to put him on probation. You're to report to me if he gets out of line. Marriage is tough enough to lick without a weight around your neck. So unless I hear from her, the debt's canceled. Now, get out.
Thanks, Marty.
Come on, Al. Deal him out. We'll play this one in...
After we left Marty, we stopped at the first justice of the peace. Wasn't fancy, but I did get a chance to kiss the bride. We saw the sun come up a lot those first 6 months at St. Louis. I never worked harder in my life. I couldn't have done it without Mildred. It wasn't just the encouragement. She helped me learn my job. She got to know as much about the jewelry business as I did. She was intensely ambitious for me to make good. Because Hamilton let us know if I did, I was in line for general manager. After a year, it looked as if we were really making it. We had enough cash for the down payment on a bungalow and some furniture. Not expensive, but nice. Anyway, we liked it.
wonder if we're being wise.
It's too late now.
But suppose some night we had company.
What can happen?
Well, the grouping is all wrong. Don't you think those two chairs should be switched?
Not again.
Please. Do you like that better?
If you do.
Oh, no, I want you to like it, too.
But I do like it, honey.
I don't think you do.
Yes, I do.
Besides, it looks too heavy there. Let's put it back.
Again?
Please. Do you think the Davenport would look better in front of the fireplace?
Oh, now, wait a minute, honey. Isn't Hilda coming tomorrow?
Yes.
How much does she weigh now?
She's trying to get under 200.
Why don't you let her move the sofa? Maybe she can lose some weight. Go put your powder on. Let's go to a show.
Okay, honey.
I'll get it.
Is this the Roberts home?
Yes.
Is Mrs. Roberts busy?
I'm her husband.
My business is with Mrs. Roberts.
Who is it, dear?
It's Roy Hanford. Perhaps I should have wired that I was coming. Lovely place you have here.
Let's not beat around the bush.
I dislike being rushed.
That's too bad.
Tell me, when did you divorce Rick?
Look it up.
I don't think it would appear in the files of any court.
She's not a bigamist.
There are worse crimes than bigamy.
What are you driving at?
Really, I dislike being rushed.
Get to the point.
Look, Mr. Roberts, I've gone to a lot of personal trouble and expense to find out just what you two have done with Rick.
My heart bleeds for you.
You know what Rick did to me. With that year in jail, I earned my right to happiness. It doesn't matter where Rick is. It only matters I'm rid of him.
Oh, I understand, my dear. That's why I've come to you before going to the police.
Now we're getting somewhere.
You must agree I'm entitled to compensation for the time and money I've expended.
How much do you want?
$25,000.
You know we haven't got that much money.
Mr. Hamilton has.
What you want is a safecracker.
I'm not telling you how to get the money. I'm interested only in the amount, and I refuse to haggle.
How much time do we have?
You'll bring $25,000 to the Weston Hotel inside of 3 days, where the police will hear from me.
What name were you registered under?
A very astute question. I'm using the name Turner. Joe Turner. I'm occupying room 236.
There's the door.
Inside of 3 days. Remember?
You were right about the furniture. It's grouped all wrong for company.
Harry.
Sorry I'm not good at smart cracks when a dream gets busted.
It had to happen sooner or later. We both knew that, didn't we?
Giving up without a fight?
Yes, Harry.
I'm not. I've had a year of peace and happiness. I know what it's like. There's only one kind of language Hanford understands. As long as I'm outside the law, I've got to live and fight by the laws I make.
Are you going to rob Mr. Hamilton?
Not in a million years.
The alternative is to give up to the police.
Still another way.
No, Harry. You can't. Listen to me. I had a gun when I trailed Rick. I'd have made a terrible mistake if he'd been there instead of you. I can't tell you how many times I thanked the fates for the favor they did me that night.
What power gives Hanford the right to ruin our lives?
What power gives you the right to take Hanford's? What happened in Las Vegas was self-defense and no reproaches. But this is different. You've got to believe me. You've got to understand.
Dictionary full of words. I'm not a debater. All I know is what has to be done.
But even if you win, Harry, the peace and happiness will be gone. There'll be no recapturing them with Hanford on your conscience. Maybe he doesn't deserve to live. But who are we to pass judgment on him? Do me one favor.
Some other time.
Don't leave me tonight. We have 3 days. Maybe there's still a way out.
There isn't.
What about Mr. Hamilton?
I'd have to tell him the whole story.
Well,
It'd be his duty to turn me in. Any other suggestions?
what about Marty Floyd?
Yeah. What about Marty? Long distance, please. Beverly Hills, California. Crestview, 88140. This is Main 33600. Marty Floyd, please.
There's a change of address on Floyd. He's in the county jail.
Oh, hello, Marty. Didn't recognize your voice. This is Harry Lane. Yeah. Well, we're in a jam. Well, Hey, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't tell you over the phone. I'll catch a plane out right away. All right, I'll tell her. So long.
Will he help us?
I think so. He sends his best to you. You call a cab, I'll start packing. You're better off staying here. Try and get some rest, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, Harry.
Now, give me a kiss and don't worry.
I won't.
Marty will take care of everything.
Who is it?
Roberts.
I wasn't expecting you so soon. You didn't bring the money.
No.
And we have nothing to talk about.
Guess again, Hanford. I didn't level with you in front of my wife. I will now. I know enough about guys like you to know that if I ever paid off, you'd only come back for more. Once I gave in, you'd be on my neck for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Don't be a fool, Roberts. I was only bluffing. I won't go to the police.
I know you won't. I'm gonna see to that. That's all there is to tell. You know the rest.
Yeah. The report in yet on that murder weapon? Oh, I thought so. Yes? You can send her in now.
Why do you want to mix her up in this? You to do with it?
I'll be the judge of that. Will you sit down, please? Mrs. Roberts, your husband has confessed to killing Hanford, but there's still a few details that need cleaning up.
I've told you everything that has to be told.
If you don't keep quiet, I'm going to have you taken out of here. When the officers picked up your husband in Hanford's room tonight, he had this gun in his pocket. Have you ever seen it before?
Yes.
Then why don't you tell me about it? What happened after he left the house tonight?
At 8 o'clock, he was ready to go to the airport. He told me not to worry, that he'd be back the next day. After he left, the phone rang. was a long-distance operator. She said something about the call to Beverly Hills being disconnected, and that my party was ready to talk again. Hello? Hello, Marty?
This isn't Marty Floyd, lady. He's in jail.
But my husband just talked to Mr. Floyd not 10 minutes ago.
He talked to me. This is a police officer.
It was plain to see that Harry had lied, that he was on his way to kill Hanford. I had to get there before Harry did. I had to stop him. I was too late. Hanford was on the floor with a gun beside him. My only thought was to keep him alive. He couldn't die. I had to keep him alive. It was my only chance to save Harry. Get me Maine, 66821. Dr. Johnson, please. This is Mrs. Roberts. Hurry, it's a matter of life and... Dr. Johnson, this is Mildred Roberts. A man's been shot. He's dying. Room 236, Weston Hotel. Hurry, Doctor. I couldn't think any longer. I was scared. I had to get out. I had to run. I don't know how I got home or what I did until the detectives came and got me.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. Your story has cleared up a few things we've been wondering about. It'd be better for all concerned if you told the truth, Wayne.
I told the truth.
You started lying when you said you took this gun from your bureau.
I didn't lie.
First time you saw this gun was in Hanford's room.
I got it out of my bureau. I shot Hanford with it.
Then why wasn't the place crawling with people? Why didn't anyone hear the shot?
How should I know?
Oh, why don't you tell the truth, Wayne?
I have told the truth. How many times do I have to tell you?
You're protecting your wife because you think she killed Hanford.
I killed him.
With a policeman's gun? We've had a warrant on Hanford for the past 3 years. He was picked up by a pair of my men tonight. While they were putting him in the car, Hanford grabbed this gun from one of the officers, shot him, and made a break. The other officer wounded Hanford, but he got away in the dark. We knew he'd been hit bad, and that sooner or later we'd get information on a wounded man. It was Dr. Johnson who called us. It's the doctor's duty to do so. He gave us your name. Well, Harry?
Yeah, I lied. After I got out of the cab, I tried to buy a gun, but all the pawn shops were closed. So I went to Hanford's not knowing what I was going to do. As I got to the top of the stairs, I saw Mildred run out and down the back stairs.
And when you found Hanford, he was dead.
That's right.
Feel better?
Lots.
This clears you of all connections with Hanford's death. But you'll still have to stand trial in Las Vegas for the Ellsworth affair.
I know.
But if I know my law, your rap won't be too tough.